Hi everyone. In today's video, we are going to see how you can set up a on-demand workflow with CyberArk Secure Cloud Access, leveraging upon Slack. For this particular video, so what we are going to do, we are going to follow CyberArk's official documentation. And so what you have to do, you have to go to the Secure Cloud Access, go to the Setup SCA. There you will see Setup on-demand access. We will try to follow this documentation. So let's get started. This entire integration is going to be completed using 5 different steps. So let's begin from the first step. In the first step, it is talking about we have to enable SCA in the identity administration. You have to go to the settings, integration, secure cloud access. So what I'll go I'll go to the identity administration. We'll go to integrations, secure cloud access. So let me enable this one. So this part looks okay. So now it is asking us to set up a OAuth server, and it is asking us to follow this particular documentation. So what we will do, we'll simply click on this one, and it is redirected me to another page. Currently, we are still under Secure Cloud Access. It is for the ISPSS authentication prerequisite. So here, the first step is creating a OAuth server. So what we will do, we will go to the web apps. So I'll click on the add web apps. We'll click on custom, and we are going to select OAuth 2 server. I'm going to click on yes, and then we can name this server as, so let's give this server as OAuth 2 server SCA. So then this one is okay. So application ID is okay. So I'm gonna save. So let's change this name as well to server SCA. I'm gonna click on save. So let's go to the general usage. If I go to the general usage, so here you will see we have to leave the default settings, confidential and must be OAuth client. So confidential and must be OAuth client. Issuer is already taken care. So here my issuer is the same as my identity tenant URL. So this one looks okay. So now we are going to go to the tokens. In the tokens, it is talking about we should be selecting a JSON web token. OAuth code and implicit should be selected. And after that, we have to select a client creds and leave the resource owner checkbox cleared. So we have to click on client creds. And then it is talking about token lifespan should be more than 10 minutes. So what we will do, so I'm going to change it to 1 hour in my case. So then we are going to go to scopes. In the scopes, it is talking about we have to configure 2 different scopes, full and SCA. So what I do, so another one is SCA / so this one, let's see whether this one looks okay. This one looks okay. In the permission tabs, we are going to assign a permissions to the SCA API full access and SCA API read only, SCA API read only and SCA API full access. I'm going to click on add. So this one looks okay. So in the advanced tab, we have to copy this entire script. So what it is going to do, it is going to return the tenant ID and user roles. So I'm going to go to advanced. Then I'm going to paste this and then let's save it. So this one looks okay. So now we are going to step 2, creating a service user. So here, what I'll do, I'll go to the users. we are going to add a new user. So here we are going to say SCA user, service user SCA Slack. So here SCA Slack. Let's configure a long password. It is talking about three different things. Password never expires. I think is service user and is OAuth confidential client. So I'll go back. OAuth confidential client, password never expired, and is service user. So this one looks okay. So we are going to create a user. So the user creation is done. As the next step, it is talking about we have to assign this service user to these two different roles, SCA API read-only and SCA API full access. SCA API full access members. So here we are going to configure that user, SCA user, service user SCA Slack. And then we have to add this user to SCA API read-only. Service user SCA Slack. So this step is done. So we have configured until this step number 3. Let's go back. So now until this step, it's been configured correctly. So now it is talking about configure the allow identity in my case, what we will do, we will allow everybody to request for a on-demand access. So here what we will do, we will go to identity administration. We are going to go to the home. So there, if I click on the on-demand access, so here, all the identities can have a on-demand access. Approval method, I set it to manual. Approval channel, so I set it to Slack. So we are going to do an integration with Slack. For this one, what you have to do, so again, it is going to redirect us to the same documentation. As the next step, what you have to do, you have to download these flows Slack files. So what I did, I downloaded it. Let me show you what does it have. So here, if you see, once you download these files, these are two JSON. One is SCA on demand and the other one is SCA on demand Slack. So we will be using these two JSON files. So until this step, it looks all good. Configure the approval method also looks okay. So here we are going to use a Slack. So now we have to do some configuration on the Slack. So what we will do, we will go to the api.slack.com and let's create a new app. So we are going to create an app from scratch, SCA CyberArk. That's what I'm gonna name it. So we are going to put it in CM. So the app has been created. So now let's see. So it is asking us to go to the permissions and add a new redirect URL. So what I'll do, let me copy this redirect URL. This redirect URL is your identity flows URL. So we are gonna go to to the permissions. So here is my redirect URL. So for identity flows, so let me copy the URL from here. So it all looks good. So let me save this. I don't know why it is complaining. Okay, this step looks to be okay so far. So what we have to do as a next step, it is asking about permission scope. It is asking us to add a chat -write in the both token scopes. So here I'm going to add this one. This one looks good. So now we just have to install this application. So it all went through successfully. So we are going to get these credits a little bit later. So until this step, everything looks okay. So now we have to create a Slack channel. So what we will do, let me go to Slack. Let me go to my channel. So this is my app. So here what we can do, we can create a new channel. We can call it a SCA CyberArk. Okay, this one is already taken by me. So then that's perfectly fine. So we are going to use this channel. So let me note down my channel ID. This is my channel ID, which we are going to use it a little bit later on. So now, so what we did, we downloaded these two JSONs. So SC on demand and SC on demand Slack. So first, let's import the SC on demand. So what I'll do, I'll go to the flows and then we are going to import it. Let me refresh it. So here we can see SC on demand. So now let's see what are the next steps. So here it is asking us to click on the chat, post messages. So here in the authorization, we have to manage it. Let's name it as a SCA CyberArk. It is asking us to configure the rest of the parameter as it is. Now we have to provide a client ID and client secret. So what we will do, we will go to the API dot. slack.com. Let's copy client ID, and I'm gonna copy this client secret as well. So this is done. So in the scopes, it is asking us to configure 3 different scopes only: channels history, chat write port, and chat write user. Chat write bot, channels history, chat write user. So channels history, chat write bot, and chat write user. So let's try to authorize it. So it looks okay. Let me allow. So authorization has been done successfully. Let's save it and use it. So here you see, so currently we have, for the authorization standpoint, we are using SCA, CyberArk. So then it is asking about in the notification component. This is my notification component. It is asking us to manage another one. So here we can name it as SCA CyberArk. Let me double click. So here we have to name it as a SCA CyberArk identity API. So it is asking us to configure. This should be OAuth 2. Should be flow, should be, it is talking about client credentials, what we configured. So now we have to provide a username and password. So let me grab a username and password. The content type is also different. So let's get our username and password. Virtual service user. This is my client ID. So my URL is going to be, let's go to my identity tab. So it should be mentioning about, so this is my URL name as well. So what we will do, I'm going to copy this. Then it is talking about add a OAuth 2 / token / my application name. My application name is this one. You're going to paste it. Then it is talking about the scope should be full. So let me unselect. Let's see whether we can see any full or no. we don't see. So what we are going to do, so we are going to add this one. So once it is done, so let's try to authorize. So authorization is success. So now I'm gonna save and use. So it's all configured successfully. So now what we are going to do, we are going to go to the map tab. So here we are gonna go to the map tab. We are gonna go and click the channel ID. So here we are gonna fix the channel ID. So let me go back to my Slack channel. I'm gonna copy this one and we're gonna update it. So now the channel ID has been updated successfully. So let's see what are the next steps. So this one looks okay. So what we are going to do, we are gonna save it. And so we are going to test it. So let's click on run. Let me copy this. Let's submit. So on demand has been completed successfully. Let's see. So here you see the notification is success. Everything looks good. Let's go to the Slack. In the Slack, you see, so the request has been submitted, but most of the attributes are null. So in a way, it looks all good. So we are gonna do the next step. So what we are going to do for this particular video, we have completed until step 2. So I'll prepare another video where we will continue starting step number 3. So thanks a lot everyone for watching this video. So